and welcome to the year 2020. My name is Helen Sporopoulos. I'm the admissions manager at Stafford Global, and joining me this evening from the University of Edinburgh Napier is Dr. Jackie Brodie. Good evening to you, Dr. Jackie.
Good evening, Helen, and welcome to everyone who's come along today.
Okay, well, this evening we are going to be discussing the MSc in Business Management program from Edinburgh Napier University. And Dr. Jackie is actually the program leader for this particular program. And how we're going to conduct the webinar this evening is I'm briefly going to introduce you to Stafford and what we do. I'm then going to hand you over to Dr. Jackie, who's going to go through the program quite intensively, and towards the end of the presentation we will be able to take any questions that you may have that you want to ask Dr. Jackie or myself. So you'll notice on the right hand side of your computer there's a little tab where you can actually type in all your questions, and we will do our best to answer them. Do take note, however, that a lot of these questions are similar if not identical, so I am going to be grouping them together, so do please listen out for your question and that all-important answer. Okay, so let's get started. Who is Stafford Global? Well, Stafford was established in 1993, and we are the first resource centre in the Middle East to offer distance learning education. We are currently the resource centre for 6 UK universities across four continents. And we obviously partnered with Edinburgh Napier University, and the mere reason that you're here this evening means that you have been in touch with one of our experienced academic consultants. We do offer a variety of programs ranging from certificates to diplomas, bachelor degrees, MBAs, MScs, and that all-important doctorate. Our function here is to assist students throughout their application process, and we do also offer academic as well as some administrative support. Okay, so I'm going to hand you over to Dr. Jackie, and I shall be joining you towards the end of the webinar. Over to you, Dr. Jackie.
Oh, thank you so much, Helen. And as I said, thank you so much, everyone, for coming along today and to listen to some information regarding our programme here at Edinburgh Napier University. And really what I want to do today is to emphasise some of the benefits of choosing Edinburgh Napier to support your postgraduate education. And so I will explain some more about the programme, and you will be able to ask us, as Helen said, some questions at the end. But to begin, I just want to say a little bit about myself. So I've been at Edinburgh Napier University now for a total of 15 years. So I started in 2005 in January, so that's me exactly 15 years at Edinburgh Napier. My PhD was in Information Systems Management, and actually what you can see on this slide is that I have a variety of different degrees, including one in education. And funnily, what you will experience when you actually start on your programme is a lot of instructors like myself who have a range of qualifications and business experience to share with you and support you in your learning as you move through the programme. So my own specialist area, as you can see, is actually the managing of innovation. And I teach on the MBA as well as the MSc students here, managing innovation, and I also teach creativity. And I'm really passionate as well about the entrepreneurial mindset. And of course, I'm really keen about online learning. It's something I'm really passionate about. And I've had the great opportunity to do a range of teaching for over 8 years online, so lots of experience. I've actually became the head of learning and teaching as well in the university, in the school. So It's something I'm very passionate about, is online learning and learning in general, and just giving people globally an opportunity to come together, to hear each other's mindsets, to share each other's culture, and really just share your knowledge online. And really just staying in your workplace as well, which is a fantastic opportunity to do while you are getting a fantastic qualification from excellent university. So that's what we want to offer to you. So hopefully you'll take us up on that offer. Okay, so let me just say a little bit more about Edinburgh Napier, really. And I just want to say a little bit about actually Scotland as well. So we are Edinburgh Napier University, and we are based in Scotland. And there's a circle diagram here which shows you Scotland is highlighted. So Scotland's the top 1/3 of the map of the UK. We have nearly 6 million people. We have 19 higher educational institutions, but we're actually quite unique because we're very employment focused. And what we find actually is our master's students tend to get promoted in positions because of the wealth of skills and knowledge and experience they've gained while they've been studying with us. So we hope that's going to be true for you. And so that's us. So we're based in a lovely little green country called Scotland that often in the winter gets covered in snow. Okay, so just saying a little bit more, I guess, about beautiful Scotland as well. So some of you may recognise some of this scenery actually, because you might have watched a Harry Potter movie, or you might have heard of our very famous mythological creature called the Loch Ness Monster. That's quite famous around the world, and we get lots and lots of tourists who come to Scotland just to visit these beautiful sites. So the Rough Guide actually called it the most beautiful country in the world. And of course, as I said, we are part of that most beautiful country, and we're in Edinburgh, which is the capital of the country of Scotland. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit more about the capital of Scotland now, because I think it's really good for you to get some understanding and some background about the country. So Edinburgh, very beautiful city, really vibrant. It's actually an hour away by if you're flying, so not that far really from that other capital that we have in the United Kingdom, which is London. So you can fly up to Scotland if you decide to come and visit us at some point. You have the Highlands, with lots and lots of interesting landmarks to see that you wouldn't find anywhere else in the UK. Beautiful places like Skye that you can visit, and some of our islands as well. You might have heard some of them, Orkney and Shetland. But Edinburgh itself, an ancient city, it has a very imposing castle on a rock, as you can see in the picture. Just gorgeous to see in the sunshine. Edinburgh's been voted one of the best cities to live for several years now. And it's such an accolade for us. And actually, we have some really interesting things going on in Edinburgh. For instance, you can see on this slide, we're home to more FTSE 100 tech startup companies than any other UK city outside London. So really thriving in terms of technology and computing. And actually here at Edinburgh Napier, we have some really important people involved in tech startup companies who work in our computer school. So we have a really good financial sector here, vibrant city. It's actually also home to the largest arts festival in the world. So we have the International Arts Festival, and you may have also heard of our Fringe Festival. And they take place together in August, so you're welcome to stay around for that, given that graduation tends to happen at the beginning of July. So you might want to travel around the UK, see parts of it and come back up and just get the first days of the wonderful festival. But just an amazing event to see, actually, and people come from all over the world to perform for us. So there we go. We've talked about Scotland, we've talked about Edinburgh. So now I'm just going to say a few words actually about where we are and the campus. So who was Edinburgh Napier? How did that start? Well, we actually started off as a technical college, and I guess that relates back to what I was saying earlier about employability, making sure people have the skills to make a real difference. So we started in 1964 training people in certain skills, and nowadays we really are focused on making sure that people get the opportunity to make a difference in their workplace. We can see today in 2020 that Edinburgh Napier is so well known throughout the country. A university with passion, a university with drive, and a university really with ambition for its students. We're very innovative. We're a very inclusive organisation. We have more than 6,000 international students studying with us, and they get to remain in their own countries. 1,500 of those who are studying with us online. So absolutely amazing, really. There's some facts here as well about us. Just mentioning as well that we're one of Scotland's largest universities with 1,500 members of staff. Okay, so that's kind of saying a little bit more about the university. I just want to also talk about some of the accolades that we've got, some of the recognition points, some recognition for the impact that we've made to students' lives. So the first thing is that we're #1 in the UK for nurturing student talent. And we were given this by the Guardian University way back in 2017. And what they did was they compared students coming in, so the entry requirements that they had, and then they looked to see what their final degree awards were. And they decided that we actually added tremendous amount of value to students. So students ended up being getting classes of degrees and excelling where perhaps they weren't expected to. So just an excellent achievement all round for our students, really. Okay, so let's just have a look a bit more about the university and some of our achievements. All right. So we've had a number of internationally recognised accolades, such as 5 QS stars covering teaching, employability and internationalisation. We've also won the Queen's Anniversary Prize in 2015, and that was really with our work with house building. We have an excellent centre that works with research into timber, and they led the way with us achieving that very prestigious award. We have around 9,000 graduates from Hong Kong. We probably have even more than that now. And they're the largest so we're the largest UK provider for students in Hong Kong. So you can see that we've got a lot of experience of supporting people internationally. Our research is considered as shaping the world around us, really improving the life of people across the globe. And we would hope to think that you would also be making a difference to your own organisation as well if you study with us. We have 95,000 graduate. 95% of our graduates go straight into employment, and what you actually will find if you look at the online figures is that's even higher. So what I find, particularly on my programme, is nearly everyone is in employment, and actually what they're hoping to do is just get a new opportunity, get promoted within their own organisation, and that's why they're pursuing the MSc. We also have supported well over 350 startups. So that's just new people starting up new companies, alumni or current students who decided that self-employment was for them. So 350 in the last 10 years, really making a difference for their country and the economy. Okay, so let's just say a little bit more really about Edinburgh Napier and the 6 schools that make up Edinburgh Napier. What you'll see when you look at the information about Edinburgh Napier is you'll see that there is 3 different campuses. They're quite different actually in build and purpose. What you see is Sight Hill campus, for example, very much designed around supporting science and supporting health and social care. Large numbers of students engaged in learning to be nurses over on that campus, and it's quite far out from the city centre to allow them easy access to the hospitals in Edinburgh and on the outskirts of Edinburgh and other towns around that. We also have, nearer the city centre, we have the Merchiston campus, which is for the School of Computing. This is a much smaller campus than the other 2 campuses, but well designed and really supporting both engineering, computing, and also, of course, arts and creative industries. Now, thinking about the business school itself, we're based on the beautiful Craiglockhart campus. Craiglockhart campus is on a sloping hill. It overlooks the whole of the city. You can see the castle. It's just so beautiful in the sunshine. Really, really pretty. So that's us. We have 3 different campuses. It offers 3 different types of experiences for students, but you'll be part of the Craiglockhart campus and the business school. Okay, so just saying a little bit more about the university itself. We're actually quite a large university. We have 19,500 students from more than 130 countries. Every time we have an intake, we get students from another country. So we're pretty global. We have a campus with 13,500 students who study on it. And a lot of them are studying in the business school. So it's around about 8,500 students in the business school. We have 6,000 studying at partner universities, including the 1,500 who are online as well. And that number just keeps growing as well. And yeah, we keep increasing our numbers and welcoming more and more people in to Edinburgh Napier. Okay, so now what I want to really do is give you a bit more thinking around global online and just try and understand a bit more about this brand really. So when you enroll for your course, you will see the logo Global Online, and it's a brand that we've developed in the university. But it started in the business school and most of the students are based here. And it's really a brand that says that we're flexible, and it's a brand that says that we can really try and fit your studies into your personal life and work commitments. So you can see that when you look at the opportunities to study with us, it's so flexible, and we really want to make it available to everyone everywhere. We've got some amazing little features as well for you that help support your experience on the programme. We have an online map so you can get to know other students on the programme. We have an Ask Ben, which is an intelligent agent. So you can just type in a question to ask Ben if none of the support staff are working, and Ben will give you an answer. We have 3 intakes per year, January, May and September, and hopefully you'll be joining us in the May intake this year and joining the rest of the 243 students who we currently have on the programme. Okay, so that's just a little bit about Global Online and the brand. Want to just comment again on just, you can see the global exposure that we have here. And it's spread out throughout the Americas, throughout Europe, into the Middle East, and to Asia, and of course over to Australia and even New Zealand. So really just allowing opportunities for people all over the world to study online, and really just fantastic that so many people want to share that learning experience with you. So you can see some of the countries here on that slide. Okay, so now I want to just give you some more information really about the programme itself, the MSc Business Management, the one I think that you are most interested in. And it's fantastic to hear that so many people, you know, are online with us today and really want to know more about this MSc in Business Management. So you can just study the programme as a general programme, or you can study it swapping out the more general modules with more specific ones in an area of your choice. So let me just tell you a little bit about this programme. You're going to get an exciting mix of modules, I think. You get to study leadership, strategy and innovation. It's a fantastic module. We're actually using this module to upskill people in Scotland at the moment because it's just such a beneficial module that ties together many of the real concepts that we need for businesses to succeed today. So we also have organisational change management. I think that's a fantastic module given that businesses are often in a state of flux and you often need support to really take care of people while they move through the changes that organisations are implementing. So that's OCM. A wonderful module which really combines both economics and finance, and last year actually got 100% satisfaction, is the Business Economics and Finance in a Global Environment core module. Just wonderful, looking at things on a very small scale in terms of the financial situation in individual businesses, and then spreading that out to much larger economic situation outside in the economy. We also have a module called Creating Business Excellence in Marketing. Again, an amazing module, really looking at the balanced scorecard, trying to identify how you can harness certain things like innovation to support businesses, and obviously focusing in on the marketing strategy is one way to really create that business excellence. If you decide to do the straightforward MSc Business Management, you're going to study my module, which is called Managing Innovation. And you get to also look at contemporary issues in strategic management. I think that's a fantastic module, contemporary issues, because what it does is it gives you all the tools and techniques really to support today's businesses to make major strategic changes. Alongside those 6 modules, you would also do the research methods module, which is where you get the opportunity to describe in quite a lot of detail a project that you would like to do for an MSc dissertation. So you may be choosing choose a situation that's going on in your organisation, such as employee engagement, employee absenteeism, and you would do research for that. And you'd write that up in your proposal, and then you carry out that research for your 40 credits of your MSc dissertation. You'll be assigned a specific tutor, mentor, supervisor throughout that whole process. Okay. There's a couple of exit points as well. So if you just wanted to do one module, well, that carries an award of 20 credits. Occasionally, people, for whatever reason, just embark on the postgraduate certificate. So again, you only need 60 credits to be awarded that. If you carry on and do all the modules, top modules, then you would get the postgraduate diploma. But most people do actually decide that the MSc is where they want to carry on and do, so they complete their research methods module and then they move on and they do their MSc dissertation 40 credit module and they achieve the MSc and they get to graduate, and our graduations are in July, the beginning of July, and usually October, November if you're graduating in the winter. Okay, so here are the specialist routes that you might decide that you prefer to do rather than just going down the general route of just a straightforward MSc Business Management. So for instance, you might want to do the MSc in Entrepreneurship. So that would be the MSc Business Management brackets Entrepreneurship, and you would do my module, Managing Innovation. You would find out a lot about organisations and how they support innovation and what processes and models they use. But then you'd also do new venture planning, so you actually get an opportunity to plan a project or a business idea and develop a business plan for that. You can also do MSc Events Management. For those who are familiar with Edinburgh, you'll know that we are just famous for our arts festivals and our business events. So therefore, that kind of module will capture some of the learning, state-of-the-art learning that we have around festivals and events. We also have the MSc Banking and MSc Finance. Those two programs allow you to go further in your career if you're interested in moving into the more financial areas or the banking areas. Then what you'll do is you'll do 2 modules in the chosen area plus your 60 credits of the part that is your dissertation. The MSc HRM, fantastic opportunity really to explore human resource management and put that in an international context. And you've got some amazing teachers teaching on that module, just really beneficial part of the MSc Business Management with HRM. Hospitality and tourism again, lots of opportunities to learn about how you run a hospitality and how you manage hotels, etc. So that's an opportunity for you. The MSc in Information Systems Strategy and Governance. This is fantastic opportunity for those who want to be taught by some people who are outside the business school. So Strategic Information Systems Management and Security Audit and Compliance are taught by the Computing School, plus your dissertation would also be taught by a member of the Computing School. This is fantastic for people who really just want to get ahead in their organisation and need to find out a bit more about implementing information system strategy. A very, very popular option is logistics and supply chain management, as you can imagine. And that also really ties in again to the MSc in project management. Again, another really popular option that we've got, and the opportunity to study project management. I think some people get so much benefit from that, and of course you get to study as well managing innovation. Finally, just say a little bit about the MSc in business management and marketing. You get to do global marketing and strategic brand management as well for strategic brand management of marketing. So fantastic opportunities there. Okay, so let's move on and have a little look about some of the resources that you get offered when you do it. So what you'll do is you'll probably study 2 modules online just to make sure that it fits, you know, into your lifestyle, and you'll get a program page, as you can see here, and you'll have an induction and you'll get access to the library as well. Okay. And the library has weekly surgery sessions. Every module that you do will have weekly surgery sessions to support you as you learn. But you can see on this page lots of interactive online resources. So you get inducted, you find out how to be a good student online, you find out all about the programme, you find out all about the rules, all about the regulations of the university, and then you move on to the programme page where you get to bond, to meet, to talk to other students on your programme, and then finally, as I said, you get to go on your modules. And that's what the module page looks like. So you will be encouraged to study up to 2 modules per trimester. And as I said, you have that induction, you get that support, you get direct access to global online resources, and you also have predetermined weekly surgery sessions which allow you to check in, see how you're getting on with your studies. These are just live study support sessions that we have on a weekly basis. They're not compulsory, but they're really beneficial, and there's activities as you progress through your studies here. You also get videos made by the module leader, you get prescribed reading, etc., etc. So a gamut of opportunities to support your learning, really. So as I said, 10 subject-specific units, that's what the modules are made up of. You're always told in advance what you expect to learn from each of the modules. There'll be a short video as well introducing the modules. You'll be given set reading for the modules. You'll be given self-assessment questions, lots of reflective opportunities, end of unit summary as well, end of unit progress test, and really be given further reading as well to explore the topic in further depth. So really interesting. Okay. In terms of your assessment as well, well, that would be 90% would be usually a case study report and 10% from the end of unit tests. And those end of unit tests, well, they can be multiple choice, or they can be other types of opportunities to gain around about 1% every week of that you're studying. Okay, so standard framework for when you're studying is you engage in discussion topics with other students. You look at case studies. There's outlined solutions for those case studies. Assessments are always available from start of the trimester. There's solutions and sample assessments available to you. And as I said, there's these weekly live help sessions as well. Okay, what does it look like when you study with us? What's a year like, for example? So you can actually see that here. We've got three semesters a year, and so when you study, you'll be studying up 5 semesters. That's if you're taking your 2 modules per trimester. Obviously, it'll be much longer if you decide just to opt to do 1 module a term. So yeah, so for instance, in January and April, which is the first trimester, you could potentially do 2 modules from the options that are made available to you, and it's quite an extensive option. So it's really up to you to decide which modules you start on in terms of the compulsory ones, and obviously with the optional ones you'll be given some guidance and advice to make sure that you have got a plan in place to complete your degree as quickly as possible. Okay, and so let's have a look at some more information about it. Just to say a tiny little bit about the virtual support activities. Obviously, your program leader will send you out a welcome, tell you a little bit about the program. You also obviously have opportunities to get together. There's been videos made of managing your time, using the library, critical thinking, etc. Grade Mark, so that's a tool that we use to give you feedback on your coursework. There's lots and lots of video guidance. You can also get academic support guidance on a one-to-one basis, career support as well on a one-to-one basis, and as I said, there will be sort of activities throughout your modules. When you look at the modules themselves, they usually follow the same pattern as my module, which is an introductory video, lots of resources available for you. Edinburgh Clock, for instance, lets you know what time it is in the UK. I think that's quite important because you might send an email and think we're taking a while to get back to you, but you've got to remember that there is significant time differences. You might have to wait a day or two for a response, but that's perfectly normal. Okay. Just thinking about how we learn again, as I said, well, it's usually 11 units, including an introductory unit, and quite detailed written material and videos, etc., to support you. There's progress tests, there's self-assessment questions, there's reflective reading, lots and lots of ways that you get supported throughout your study. We always have an academic discussion forum as well, and a student chat forum for you. And we also provide transcripts or videos of the virtual offices that the help clinics that take place every week. You, as you're progressing through the module, also have access to what I would say is a workbook. That workbook is electronic, but you can PDF it and download at any point. What I find is wonderful about these when I look at them, they're not marked, but they're fantastic sources of information because they allow you to reflect on your organisation or an organisation of your choice and think about, in my case, around the innovation strategy of that company and how might this be applied to your company or even improve. So really good tools. In terms of thinking about who does what on the program, you obviously have myself, who's the program leader. I'm there to support you. You also have module leaders for all the individual modules that I've described. And sometimes you even have online tutors as well, who provide real academic leadership and support to you as you progress through the program. You have administrative support in the form of Global Online Support Team. They provide dedicated non-academic support, and they monitor your progress, so they'll email you if you're inactive for any period of time, and they will support you. And then really thinking about emailing them, getting in touch with them if you have any problems, and you'll be given a university email to do that. Okay, so kind of wrapping up now, thinking about the program and thinking about you really and what we think you need to be successful in the program. The normal entry requirement for this is a bachelor's honours degree, normally an upper second class. But you can have a background in any subject discipline, and I've seen people come, for instance, in healthcare or financial areas, etc. So don't worry about your background. If you've got your honours degree and it's a good honours degree, then we'd be willing to take you and have you on the programme. We may consider lesser qualifications if you have sufficient or significant professional work experience, and we see that quite often. English language requirements, if your first language is not English, then you may well have to take an approved English language test. But what's wonderful, again, is Stafford's always there to help you and give you advice on that as well, and the university. Okay, just kind of finishing up now, thinking about some of the feedback that I've had on this module. This is from a few years ago, but I love to share it because I could have shared this year's as well with you, because that's equally as positive, but I thought I would share this with you. So first of all, students are impressed by the fact that we bring the classroom to their living room. They thank us for the lovely learning material and methods. I just received another email from a student, again, thanking me for her module from last year. Just the support that we give people has been identified. Just the fact that people can change careers, can go in another direction. As you can see from the bottom quote, as an airline pilot who had limited exposure to business, truly grateful for the guidance given by you, which I followed, and your personal efforts to the last day to ensure we gave our best efforts. Thank you. So just fantastic, eh? In terms of the tuition fees, what's wonderful is that Stafford actually give an exclusive grant of $1,000 US dollars. So that's just fantastic that you get that opportunity to have get that discount for your degree. In terms of application deadline, obviously we'd like you to apply as soon as possible, but your Stafford consultant will be able to tell you the dates for each of the trimesters. So I'm going to say, please ask me any questions that you have. I've been Dr. Jackie Brodie, and I'm going to hand you back now to Helen. And thank you, everyone, and thank you, Helen.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Dr. Jackie. That was very, very informative. Okay, so I've been able to group some of the questions
Thanks,
together.
Helen.
All right. We get quite a lot of questions with regards to the modules. And the common question is, do I have to actually just stick to my core modules first? Or can I mix a core module as well as an optional module simultaneously?
It may be actually in your benefit to mix up a core module and a specialist module. Particularly, some of the specialist modules only get taught once or twice a year. So to help you complete your degree in a reasonable time, then yes, that would be totally fine. So it's really up to you. Some people start on one module, usually it's a core module, or other people start on two modules, and often that can be a core module as well as one of the specialist routes modules that they want to engage in. Yep. And if you pick my module, I'm both a core module and I'm a specialist module. So there you go.
Excellent. And in the event that I am not really satisfied with the tutor's response to any of my assignments, how can I get in contact with that tutor besides just the online portal?
Yes, so if you're unhappy, or then please do contact your module leader and try and get an appointment, a time, just to have a chat with either the tutor or the module leader, and they'll talk you through the feedback that you've got. And it's often people are unhappy because they don't understand the reason why they've been given that feedback. But once they've had that briefer chat or been given more information, most people realise that actually they should have spent more work on referencing or on giving more evidence during their argument. So it's a beneficial conversation. And actually what people do as well is they get that feedback from the tutor, but then they actually contact academic skills as well, because they can look over and tell you about things like structure of your argument or structure of your whole report. Lots and lots of support in the university for your development.
Okay, and do I get any credits if I have done any programs or modules at another university?
What you would need to do is you would need to email us the modules and those module learning outcomes, and then we will look at that. But we need a lot of detail. We need to be able to exactly map them because of our quality processes. But it is potentially possible, and it does happen sometimes, that people do get exemptions from some modules.
Excellent. And if I cannot attend a graduation, how do I actually get my degree certificate?
Oh well, a lot of people actually graduate. Not everybody can make it, because you saw that we have students from all over the world. So you get to graduate in what we call absentia. And what's fantastic is the university doesn't even charge you for that. They used to charge you for the certificate. They used to charge you for the big graduation ceremony, but now we don't. You just graduate in absentia, and then your certificate's sent online to, sent overseas to you, and it does arrive a few weeks later. But if you come in person, you get to hold the certificate yourself on the very day that you finish.
Okay, if I do fail an assignment, do I get very in-depth critical review from the tutor so I know exactly where I have gone wrong?
So yes, you will get quite extensive feedback usually from the tutors, particularly if it's felt like you will have to reset that assessment. So yes, you'll get some support to do that. And of course, as I said, other people as well can help you, because remember, it's not always the content that's the problem. Sometimes it's the way you've structured it. Sometimes you've just not addressed the actual question as it was set.
Okay, I have started module 1 OB and OA. Is it possible to download the ebook onto a device rather than trying to view it through the portal?
Sorry, so is this someone who's actually engaged in the program right now, asking a question? Due to copyright reasons, which is to do with the legal situation in the UK, we can't actually allow a PDF. It must go through the book application that we have, because that makes sure that we're giving the right intellectual property allowance to the publishers of the book. So that's the current situation.
Okay, can I do an MSc in the beginning, and halfway through, can I switch to an MBA? Because I have seen that some of the modules are very similar, if not identical.
So you would have to speak to the MBA director about that. But also, I want you to think about why you're embarking on an MSc at the beginning anyway. Why are you doing that? If you have the right 5 years work experience, and if you feel that you're in the right mind frame to do an MBA, then embark on the MBA. But the MSc itself is really for people who have less work experience, and who want to maybe change careers. So I really think listen to your Stafford agent on that situation. Very occasionally, I have a student who does one module with me and then maybe approaches the MBA director, but it's very rare, and most people would actually prefer to have an MSc degree.
Good. And how are assignments graded? Are they just symbols A, B, C, or do we get percentages?
Right. So, right now you get it's a grading scale. So it goes from an F5, which would be a 0, equivalent to a 0, up to a D5, which would be equivalent to 95, 100%. So currently, right now, you can fail, you can pass. So you get a P1, a P2, so different levels of pass, and then you get different levels of distinction, like a D1 and D2. Come September though, so if you're doing modules with us come September, we're actually going to be changing to a number. So we're going to be on a scale of 1 to 100, so that a lot of people will be used to that scale, and that's why we've decided to go back to that scale. So you will get a number.
If I cannot submit my assignment in time due to personal circumstances, will I be provided with an extension? And what is the average extension that I can get?
So, well, it's not so much average. You have to put in evidence to your module leader about why you would need an extension, and the maximum extension would be 10 working days. And most people get between 5 to 10 working days if they require an extension and have good evidence for that. If you feel that you can't complete it within the 10 working days, then by all means tell your module leader and tell Global Online Support, and they will provide you with the documents that you need to defer your assessment. And so as long as you give good enough evidence, then you get to defer it. And that does happen. People have work commitments which are very extreme and are sudden, so they're not planned for, or people might have a child on the way. So lots and lots of different reasons why people either defer or they get an extension. And illness, again, is another common reason why you might get an extension.
Okay, and a follow-up question to that is that if I want to actually take a break in my studies, what is the maximum time period that I can take a break?
Well, again, I think you need to after a year we would review everybody's situation, and in most cases people do return after the year. The program leader has some leeway, but I think about it as being about a year would be what most people do take as a time period away from their studies. Yeah, but a lot of people just take a semester because it's become very busy at work or they have a family commitment.
Right, yes. And is it possible to study online and then halfway through my program decide to go onto the campus in the UK and complete this program?
It's really interesting because although we are the same program, we've got different program leaders, and so the university consider us as different programs in that sense. So you would have to exit my program and you would need to apply and speak to the new program leader and then get taken onto the program. So it's quite a complicated process. So again, I would say to you, if your overall goal is to study in the UK, then by all means, just apply to come and be here in the UK. But if you want that flexibility, the opportunity to study online and continue to work, continue to have an income, which I think is critical for many people, maturer people, then yes, that's the options. So it has happened just occasionally, but again, no one can guarantee that for you, and you have to speak to the actual program leader, the other program leader.
Okay, I am in the Middle East, and as you well know, that our weekends are Fridays and Saturdays. Is there any possibility that tutors will be available to talk to me on Fridays and Saturdays?
Yeah, so in the UK, our working week is Monday to Friday, so there should be someone to speak to you on a Friday. You might find that you won't get a response on a Saturday.
Okay, and if I do not have a bachelor degree, can I apply on the basis of my work experience? I have approximately 8 years working experience in management and business. Would this suffice?
So I think what I would advise you to do is talk to Helen and get advice from Stafford, and they would help you make a good enough argument to see if you can do that. But they've got all the regulations around that. So I think I'll refer you to Helen. And there's lots of things that need to be taken into consideration. Even if you think you've got the right enough work experience, it might not be at the right level because it's got to be at managerial level. So yes, have a chat with Helen or any of the other Stafford associates.
Absolutely. Do please get in touch with your consultant at Stafford, and they'll be able to advise you exactly what documentation Dr. Jackie and her team would like to look at. Okay. I do believe you have mentioned that we can pick up 2 modules per trimester. Do you not think that this is quite intensive for this level of study?
Yeah, so in one hand, I do agree because it's 200 hours per module. So you would be doing 400 hours of study within a 13 or 14 week period of time. However, for some people, they do have time in their work. So perhaps they're, for instance, they're on a cruise ship and they have a few weeks off, so they very intensely study. I've had people in nuclear power plants, so they've spent time in a nuclear power plant and then they've come away and they have whole weeks to study. So you really need to think about you and whether you can achieve this. As long as you feel you can set that time, maybe about 20 hours a week if it's 2 modules aside, then do that. But you really have to think about it from your perspective.
Okay, and in the event that I do miss the induction, what would happen? Do I get penalized for this?
You don't get penalised for missing the induction at the moment. That's not to say things will change, but there is an induction and you can go on it anytime you want. So it sits on the website and you get access to it. So please do that.
Ken, what is the maximum time period that you give students to finally complete this program? If I do happen to get extensions or take breaks in my studies?
Yeah, I mean, usually the maximum time period is around 4 years.
Okay, and the very last question here is, why are there no examinations in this particular program in comparison to other universities?
I mean, first of all, we started doing exams. We did try exams, but because we're so global, we had people starting exams at 6 in the morning and other people starting them at 9 o'clock at night at the same time. And we realised that that wasn't really a very good learning experience. But then we also looked at the way that we learn. And when you do an exam, you're basically repeating what you've learned in the material that you've studied. Whereas when you do a piece of coursework, you get that opportunity to study something of interest to you in a very in-depth basis over a longer period of time and get opportunities to ask questions about it. So we actually think it's a more beneficial way for people to learn. So that's why there's no exams.
Okay, and I see there's a question from Justin again. Will there be any online lectures to attend? And if so, when will they start and how often are these lectures?
So every week you have a virtual support, live academic support session, but they're not lectures as such. There might be a few slides, but basically it's student generated. So it's usually you asking questions of the academic about some of the materials that you've read. And occasionally they'll give you a task as well, give you some material to read and then come back and discuss it.
And what happens if I do miss these?
You can watch them on repeat. So people are working they don't have time, so they can either reread the transcripts if their transcripts are provided, or they can watch them electronically, because often they're recorded as well.
Okay, and a quick question from Ahmed. I am based in Egypt. Will I be able to get a visa to attend the graduation?
I don't know, Ahmed. You would need to contact the British Embassy, I would imagine, or your own embassy, to see what the situation is. But what we do here at Edinburgh Napier is we do give you some support around that. So we would fill in any paperwork that we are requested to fill in. But I haven't seen anyone have any problems so far that's been really keen to come.
Good. Okay, well, I've managed to actually combine all the...
Thank you, Ellen.
It's actually excellent and quite easy to get through. As Dr. Jackie has said, we are currently accepting applications for the May intake. And these programs do fill up quite quickly. So I do strongly advise that you get in touch with your academic consultant as soon as possible. Let's get all those important documents in and get that wonderful unconditional offer for you and start with Jackie and her team. Again, Dr. Jackie, thank you so much for being with us. Thank you everyone for attending, and hope to see you soon, Dr. Jackie, and hope to see all the applications coming through from everyone that has attended.
Yeah, just really looking forward to seeing everyone starting in May.
Excellent. Good evening to you all. Thank you.